Good afternoon and welcome to episode 4 with Pamtastic on Purpose. I am coming on today and I'm just coming on to keep myself committed. I don't know how often I'm going to do this, but right now what I'm doing is when I think about it or have something that's on my heart or mind, I'm just going to press record. So that's what I'm doing today. Also, I asked my daughter this morning when I was waiting with her for her to get on the bus this morning, I said, "Baby girl, should mommy make another episode today?" And she said, "Yeah." And she's really excited about it. My daughter is 7 and she is very excited that her mom is doing a podcast. She feels like it's like the coolest thing. So that's exciting, when your kids are your biggest fans. And my son seems to be pretty stoked about it too, even if he doesn't show it very much. I can tell he's excited for me. But yeah. So what I wanted to talk about today, I titled this episode "Truth and Activation," and there's a reason for that, and I want to get into it. So I had a call today. I had an appointment with a beautiful soul, and in our meeting, one of the questions that she had asked me was, if you had a line of people at your door waiting for you, what would they want from you? And I'm a very contemplative person, and it takes me a minute for things to settle in and really simmer before I can truthfully and honestly answer questions. But the truth is, when our intuition is at play and our soul really knows something, the truth is we should just know, and we should. I don't like the word should, but a lot of times we absolutely do know. We just don't necessarily know how to put it into words. At least that's been my experience. I've had a lot of challenges finding the right words for what I want to say or actually what I'm trying to get out, because a lot of the things that I want or desire are not actually tangible things. And also with that being said, that's kind of what I realized after I sat with myself after I got off the call with her, that question kept coming up. If I had a line of people at my door, what is the thing that they would want from me? And what I find very challenging is the fact that I have many qualities and many gifts that I feel I want to offer people and that people would want to receive from me. The truth is, I don't know what one thing would be, right? That's what I kept saying to her. I don't know. I don't have just one thing. I don't really know. So what I realized after I got off the phone with her and I was talking to my husband, it always takes kind of talking it out with my husband for me to kind of activate myself and see where I was maybe lying to myself or wasn't fully clear on my delivery, because I wasn't fully clear in myself on what I was trying to say. So, what is the thing that people would want from me? I complicate everything. It's really simple. The more I sat with it and the more I thought about it and the more I talked to my husband, here's what I came up with. It's 2 words that I feel like people would want from me if there were a line of people at my door: truth and activation. So mainly what I mean by that is, I feel like if people were waiting at my door, what they would want from me is my ability to sometimes see the truth in themselves that they can't see. Just like everybody, people can do this with me as well. It happened to me in the room this weekend at the event that I attended, and sitting with myself and contemplating and talking to my husband. The answer is, I feel like truth and activation is what people would come to me for. Now, what does that look like? That is the truth. I don't necessarily fully know, other than what I'm already doing. So I don't love labels and identity, titles, but I also feel like, we have to have something to let people kind of know who we are and where we're at. So, little background, I call myself a soul therapist. I am a certified Reiki master practitioner. I am also certified in hypnotherapy. I'm a hypnotherapist, past life regressionist, astrologist, numerologist. I'm an emotion code guide. I also work with human design and gene keys and guide people there. I've been deconditioning with that, with human design and gene keys for going on almost my 7-year mark. I think I'm at 6. I have a ton of things that I'm technically certified in, and I also just don't like listing them because it's not who I am, if that makes sense. I'm a multifaceted being, and I've really come home to that, and I want to honor that. And also, I want to be able to give the thing to people that I feel is my main gift, and really that's just I call myself kind of, you know, I can see in others what they can't see in themselves. And not only am I good at that, but also I want to be better at it. I want to be even better at it. I want to step into embodiment where I'm still in practicing mindset versus full trusting mindset with certain things. I desire to be able to just share all of my gifts with whoever wants to receive. But if I had to narrow it down, truth and activation in themselves. Like, I want to be the mirror for people to see in themselves what they just can't find or see. And I want to be able to do that in a way where it activates them on a cellular level. That's what I want. I also want to sing. I also want to create jewelry. I also want to make, my sun catchers and my decorations. And I want to sell crystals, and I want to make sage bundles. And I still want to create and be the creatrix that I am. I want to do all those things. So I just want to talk about how ultimately sometimes the very things that we are good at, truth and activation, it takes, a little bit of inner work for us to also embody those things fully ourselves. So for me, I love to think I embody truth and I am activated. And also, what does that mean? What does that even mean? Something to sit with. And that's what I've been doing, because the only truth is what we make it, right? Like, sure, the truth can be that our past was horrible and we dealt with all of these horrific tragedies. And the truth is that if it's in the past, the only place it really still exists is in our minds. And we don't have to relive the past. We don't have to become and identify with the pain and all of the shit that we've experienced. We can choose to step away from that and into something else. We can choose to become who we want to be. But it takes really, setting the past down and leaving it right where it is. And I have been guilty of carrying my past into my present and even applying it to my future and not even realizing that's what I was doing. Because I stood in a powerful reflection of qualities and experience in which the reflection has more embodiment than I do in certain areas. And not only, so I think I started to say this, forgive me if I got off track. So not only do I want to be the truth in activation, but I want more of that for myself. I desire more people in my life that can also show me the truth that I might not see within myself and activate me in a way that I might not be doing myself. Because that's what reflections in each other of all of our human sisters and brothers are meant to do for each other. It's just we get so butthurt when someone actually reflects something that we may not like. Me, though, I'm here for it. I may not like it. It's going to sting in the moment, sure. And at the same time, I fucking love it, and I'm here for all of it. Because that's the only way we actually grow and learn and then embody the things that we've experienced, right? The lessons from the shit that we've experienced. We can learn the lesson all we want on a conscious level in the mind, right? But if we don't embody it in our body and soul and spirit, then we're kidding ourselves. So yeah, if I invite you to think about this question, because it really did a number on me. In the best way, though. These are the type of questions I want in my life. These are the type of conversations I want to be having. Why do I keep starting if someone? It's like the third time I've done it. If there were a line of people at your door, what would they want from you? What would they want from you? What is your gift? You know, one of my favorite quotes is by Picasso, and he says, the purpose of life is to find your gift, and the meaning of life is to give it away. And that's very profound, because what I have found that to be so true. And I think the challenging aspect for me has been giving it away, because you can't give gifts to people that don't necessarily want those gifts, right? And I've learned the hard way how to disperse the energy of my magic in a healthy way for me. And I don't disperse it without permission, right? Without someone else's want or desire or consent. In the beginning of doing this work, with working with people and serving people, I think we all go through this. If you're on any kind of healing path or serving path where you work with others, I think we all kind of go through this phase of feeling like I just want everybody to feel like this. I want everybody to feel like this. And you just want to share and let them know, here's what you could experience, here's what you could feel, here's how you can change your life. But everybody has their own timeline. Everybody has their own rhythm of moving and their pace. And again, experience, right? Where they're at. Not everybody's ready to do the thing that you're doing. And, again, I learned the hard way. And again, I the hard way, but as humans, I really think we prefer that. I think we prefer the hard way. In fact, if I go a step further, not to get all wooey on you, but, I also feel like that's why we're here. If you think about a euphoric heaven, right? And where everything was just in complete harmony and unison, and everybody got along, and there was no problems and no mischief, if you will. I mean, I joke with people about this, but I really truly believe we sign up for this earth game because we're bored in heaven, per se, right? Like, if heaven really is a place on some dimension or planet or however, whatever, right? If it really exists somewhere besides right here in our heart and in our reality, right? If it is a place, imagine how bored you'd be if everything was just good all the time. Never had to worry about nothing, which is great, but like, really, how much of that could you really take before you'd be bored? As a rebel-hearted person myself, I know for a fact, based on my soul work and the things that I've done, me personally, my soul signed up for this earth school for that reason. To experience it all. Even the shit, right? Even the things where like, man, when I was 20, I really wish I would have made better choices. But is that true? I mean, because if you're, think about the choices. Yeah, they might have been shitty choices in the moment, but you wouldn't have the wisdom you gained from that experience, would you? If you didn't make those shitty choices. That's what I tell my kids. As much as I want to shelter my kids and coddle them from this real crazy ass world, I'm like, no, I can't coddle you from something and then literally throw you to it. Like, you cannot coddle your kids from the wolves and then throw them to the wolves. And that's just my personal, like, I have my personal things with that as a parent about how I feel. But, and it's a spectrum, and everybody has their own thing about what's best for them. My parenting, the way I parent is, I'm a little gritty because you can't spell integrity without grit. And if you do not show your children how to have a little bit of tough skin, you're setting them up for a complete fucking really hard life of disappointment. Because duality is the realm that we live in. We live in a dual realm. There is going to be good and there is going to be bad. And that is just the way it is. We cannot shield ourselves, each other, or our children from the inevitable. Man, I got off on a tangent there. Anyway, truth and activation, right? Like, that's what I want. I want people to be able to see the truth in themselves and get activated. And I want to see the truth in myself and get activated. And I want to just keep that cyclic thing going. Just keep that cycle going. Let's just activate each other by seeing the truth and feeling the truth. Let's that's another thing, like thinking. But anyway, that's a thinking. That's a whole different podcast. Talking about thinking versus feeling, right? Feeling into something versus thinking about it. So that's what I got for you today. Truth and activation. I stand for truth. I deliver truth, and I always want the truth. And I believe that that's what activates us, on a cellular level. When we allow it, and when we're ready for it, and when we're ready to work with it. If we're still in any kind of survival mode, like fight, flight, or freeze, or fawn, or any of those F words, then obviously, you have to get through that. You have to feel to heal through that before you can get to a place of like allowing someone to come and project some truth to you that you might not be ready for. You have to be willing for that and ready for that. And in a space of where you've already kind of done some nervous system work, But yeah. All right. That's it for today. Thank you if you're listening. Thank you for being here. I love and appreciate you. Please like and share and follow along. And if you resonate, absolutely help me out however you feel called to do so. I appreciate that with love. And that's it. That's all today. Stay purposeful, stay present, and keep shining that light. I love you and have a beautiful rest of the day.